to hear the audio and everything on there. But so the biggest thing that we did is you can see another way to look at it is if we all have that snuff box, you know, on our wrists, see where that little joint is.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at a good player, you can see his snuff box. Make it in a dark red, so you can see his snuff box. If you look at where the shaft is, okay, that's the club shaft right there. That wrist joint is always to the, when you're looking down at it, to the right side of that shaft. Look at where yours would be. If this is, that's that wrist joint right there. All right, and that's the grip. Yeah, it's always, it's in front. All right, that's another way to look at that. I got a picture of your grip here in a second, but and then that right hand, you see how your right thumb was down the shaft? That right hand is too much down on the club versus you can see how much more his right thumb is laying across the shaft. That's because his right hand is much more up on high up on that glove hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so that was the biggie. With that grip right there, it would be really hard to improve. All right, so here's the new one. You put it compared to your other one. So you see what we did is we've taken that snuff box, if that's your shaft. Now look at the wrist joint. So see how it's over there?
Yeah.
And you see your right thumb is more across the shaft, so it's that right hand is more. Remember I put the dotted lines right across your glove?
Yep.
So they match the dotted lines on your right hand, your lower hand. All right, that's your key right there. If you don't change that, we wasted our time. All right, so then what that allowed you to do. Now watch the difference between. This is your swing with that good grip. This is your swing with the old one. So at setup, you could see how your body was setting up. You were setting up where your body tilted kind of towards the target. Versus here, you can see I've got your body, you know, a little bit more back behind it. All right, that's one thing to look at. You also, your right arm now has a little bit of a bend in it. Versus here, look how straight that right arm was.
Yeah.
All right. But the biggest thing is now you can swing, you know, where you've got some, you know, athleticism. In other words, when you're set up behind the ball, watch how you stay behind the ball, the top of your backswing. I mean, that's an awesome position right there with your spine, you know, set back behind it. So now when you move forward, your hips lead, and see how your head's still behind the ball? When I see somebody set up like this where they're already tilted towards the target, watch what happens. At the top, you see a mirror image of that. So look how their head is forward. Now when he comes forward, look how your upper body gets way out in front of that ball.
Yeah.
All right. Now that swing's going left because your head's forward, that swing's going left. And with your grip weak, that's why you're hitting a lot of shots to the right. You can see your hands are just barely getting out in front of the line. You know, so you kind of had a, you know, either hit or miss whether you're going to hit the ground in front of the ball. You're hitting a lot of thin, a lot of fat shots, a lot of right shots. Whereas now, when you come forward, your head's behind it. Now what we're working on is with your head back, trying to lean that shaft forward.
That is so much more forward too.
Yeah, and you can see, watch a guy like Harrington, when his hands are out off his right thigh, look at how much more, see how much more that he's got the angle maintained with that club?
Mm-hmm.
So the more his head is behind the line, the more he's trying to get that handle. Look how much his handle's out in front. So you can see he's not hitting many fat shots through there, is he?
No.
Versus yours is, you know, that's why you were still hitting a little bit of that plastic. But now look at how your hands are out in front. Now you're going to hit a lot of solid shots.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so again, your keys, make it simple. Your keys are grip. Got to get that grip, work hard on the grip, and then your setup. And then just work from that new setup, trying to get that handle forward so you clip the grass out in front. Those are your keys right there.
So like right here is for my grip.
That looks good. Here, let me send this to you.